Welcome back to INSPURED Alchemy. Today I have a very special custom knife from Jed Hornbeak that I'm very excited to introduce to you. Heads up, straight up, 100%. Don't want to mislead anybody. He is not prepared to make these on full scale. It took him a long time to make these knives. He made two of them. He made one for himself. And by my request, I was able to talk him into making me one. He does want to draw, this is something he wants to do in the future, but he's not sure exactly how long it's going to take. He wants to get the CNC thing worked out. I don't know any fancy Balisong tricks. We'll go over that in a little bit, but I'm very excited to have this in my collection, if for no other reason than it's my homeboy making a flipper, and it is a flipper, as far as Balisongs are concerned, it's probably not the best flipper. It is 10¼ inches long. Let's go over the weight. So the weight is going to come in at 6.6 ounces. That is about an inch longer than most Balisongs, or maybe at least a half an inch longer than most Balisongs, and about 2 ounces heavier than most Balisongs. This is it lined up against the Formax Scout, which is a 10-inch knife, and most of you are probably familiar with that. It's just to show you exactly what you're working with here. So I don't usually bring this up, but I'm recording this video standing up. I feel like talking goes a little bit more fluent whenever I'm standing up versus sitting down. I don't get so relaxed. But I'm bringing that up in this video because not only am I standing up, but I can't really see the knife. So there's not going to be a bunch of camera tricks. I may grab a chair here in a second. I don't know how to do any tricks anyway. I mean, I've watched some videos on people doing tricks, and I'm just an idiot with a Balisong. But he left the edge blunt for me by request. He said he told me yesterday, he said all I need to do is sharpen this thing up, man, you come pick it up. And I was like, don't sharpen it up, please. I was like, if you don't mind, like I wouldn't mind playing around with it, seeing if I could learn some tricks, and if I can, it'd be nice not to have to worry about like chopping my fingers off. The blade steel is in D2, and the handle construction's titanium. This part right here, the latch, he said was stainless steel, and some of the hardware on the inside is stainless steel. Other than that, and see, like this is like a prototype, so he's got a nut, and bolts pretty much for the standoffs. So when he does come out with a regular production model, that will be a regular standoff. Like this stuff don't bother me at all. I love this type of shit. But anyway, my dad carried a Balisong. I'm gonna get into that for a second. I know I've told the story on the channel before, but not in a Balisong video, so it just seems to make sense to put it in here. So when I was younger, my dad did a little bit of construction work, and he had a buddy that was from Vietnam, I believe. It may have been the Philippines. I mean, that's where these knives actually originated from, was the Philippines. Like one of the first folding knives and what was going on there at the time, if I'm remembering accurately. I don't want to spread false information, but I think what was going on was they needed to conceal their weapons better for some sort of government reasons. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. So anyway, they were trying to figure out how to take their knife, make it submerge into the handle so they can stick it in their waistline, or the waist of their their pants or whatever kind of garment they were wearing. I mean, when I say that, I mean like this was hundreds of years ago. And so the first Balisong started to be produced. Butterfly knife is another name for it. But yeah, man, it's a little heavy. I've tried to learn how to do some tricks, but my dad, whenever people would ask him, because he would be carrying one in the 80s and the 90s, maybe even the 70s, people would ask him about what kind of tricks he knew, and he was like, I know one trick, and that's how to open it. And I'm feeling that now, I'm feeling the fact that these things are funny, or fun, to play around with, but they're not the easiest to manipulate. And I would assume the heavier they are, the harder they are to manipulate, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't have any experience with light ones. So Jed and I did discuss the price point of what he thought the knife should be at, and I did say it was D2. Don't let that scare you. Jed does an excellent job with D2, and I'm not just saying that because he's my boy. I've experienced several steals with his knives over the course of the last year, and I have to say that his D2, I actually prefer it over the 3V. I've got one knife of his in D2 that I use quite often. I've carried it a lot. When I say a lot, probably, you know, maybe 35 days out of the last year. That's not really a lot if you don't have a lot of knives, but I don't have the opportunity to just, you know, carry the same knives every single day. With having a YouTube channel, I've got to give some sort of opinion, and in my opinion, it wouldn't be worth its weight in salt if I didn't get a little bit of a pocket time with them, or belt time, or sheath time, or whatever you want to say. But anyway, he does very well D2. I prefer his D2 over his 3V. There's nothing wrong with his 3V. His 3V is outstanding. But, you know, he worked with Jason Stout. That is JB Stout. Some of you may know him by one or the other. But he worked with Jason Stout when they were younger in a machine shop in Tennessee. And as you know, everything that Jason Stout makes is made out of D2. And I'm sure it's a metal that they had at their disposal. So, like, with it not being MagnaCut, don't let that scare you off. This guy's got plenty of experience with D2, and he does a well job with working with it. So I do believe, and nothing's final. Don't let, you know, I probably shouldn't even mention this, but I'm going to assume the price point of these knives will be anywhere between $800 and $1,500, and that's going to depend on not necessarily the materials being used, but the process in which he's able to get those the processes done with the materials, and how much time it takes. You know, like doing a lot of manual milling by hand with titanium takes a long time, goes through a lot of machinery. If he could CNC this stuff out, it would be a lot quicker. May cost a little bit more money, but might not tie up as much of his time. Anybody that's in production understands the value of time. But again, don't quote me on any kind of money things. I don't know. I'm not the man that's going to be making that decision. That'll be Jed. So when are these things going to hit the market? I have no idea. I just know it's something that's in his, you know, it's something that he's wanting to do. And I know because it's something he's wanting to do, he will do it. Don't know how much time it'll take. I asked him for permission to show the knife off. And the only thing he said was like, man, I don't mind if you show the knife off. That's fine. But please let it be known that I don't have them available. And I don't know when they're going to be available. I'm not sure what they're going to cost. You know, and he was discussing all this stuff with me. So, like, no sense in going over there and blowing him up about wanting a Balisong just yet, because he's not ready. He's not prepared. He doesn't have the tools needed to produce them the way he wants to produce them. Since it is his first folder that he's wanting to produce and sell, you know, he's saying, like, maybe we carry them around for a year and find out what we like about them and what we don't like about them and make changes. That may seem excessive, but that also gives him time to be able to make those decisions without having to rush through any kind of processes. Like, you know, this is something he's brand new at. Just got his logo on it. He left everything else off. Dude, I'm so very excited to have a Balisong by him. And I really like the fact that it has a pocket clip, and it does fit in the pocket just fine. It does leave quite a bit hanging out, but I'm not one of those people that really care. I may have to pick up like something a little lighter to play with. I wouldn't mind learning how to do some tricks. Like right now, like I said, you know, I'm just an idiot with a Balisong. But the only Balisong in my collection. I have had others. Barry & Sons, as to note, I think I picked it up for like $50, and it was in 440C, something like that, which is another American Balisong that was heavy, but not a custom. Definitely not titanium. It was a stainless steel frame. Again, I shouldn't be the one that you should go to about action, but it seems to me to be very smooth. It just, you know, it flows very nicely, but I don't know what people look for in a Balisong. I know some of them are weighted to make those tricks easier to do. I'm just hitting it on the table. But yeah, man, it doesn't seem like there's any stiffness or anything to be concerned about. You know, I mean, it flows like it should flow. If I knew what I was doing, maybe I could do this knife some justice, maybe even this video some justice, and do some stuff for you. But yeah, like I said, Dad had one. He didn't know any tricks. Me and Courtney have been having fun watching YouTube videos and, you know, trying to duplicate those tricks, busting up our knuckles and stuff. But as of now, this is where I'm at, you know, with it. But like, I'm just excited the fact that I've got, you know, I had the opportunity to have the first folding knife that Jed would sell. You know, he has done folding knives in the past, like slip joints. stuff like that that he may revisit in the future. He said, but as of right now, you know, this is the only one that he's ever sold, and I couldn't be happier to be the new owner. So really, man, where I go from here in the video, I like the knife. I'm gonna carry the knife. I'm gonna try to play with it a little bit, maybe a week or two, and just see if I can learn any tricks. And well, tricks, I just mean opening methods, I guess you would say, because like really, just getting it open is the only trick you really need to know how to do. Like getting it open. And a lot of people don't like Balisongs because of the tricks and the circus act, but when it comes to lock stability, I may be wrong because I've never just tried to destroy a Balisong, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find a knife with a stronger locking mechanism than the Balisong locking mechanism. First of all, it's in your hands. If you got this clip in here, it snaps in, and I'm not saying it can't fail. And you guys may know more than I do about how to easily make them fail, but the fact is the knife is on 2 pivots, right? Like, so it can actually still be used with just one handle. So you get both of these handles together, and I guess technically, no, I guess you just want to use it like that if you're going to use it with one handle. But technically, you snap both of those handles in together, you have got probably not just the oldest locking mechanism on a knife that has ever existed, but probably the strongest too. And even, I'm sticking it up there with the Ford Max Scout because it does have that triad lock that we all trust. And I'm one of those people. I don't hate the triad lock. I'm just saying that I don't think the triad lock would be any stronger of a locking mechanism than a Balisong. So maybe we judge it because of the circus act, but when it comes to terms of folding knives and the strongest locking mechanism, what do you guys think? Weigh in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. And you guys have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side.